Hi, writers. I wanted to share a story with you. One of Margot and Jack's favorite books is Knuffle Bunny. And I remember reading it to them when they were younger. And we got to this first part that you may remember. And it's an important part in the story. And I enlarged it here so you can see. And it's the moment that Trixie is with her dad in the laundromat. And the only words on the page was, then they left. They left the laundromat. But I remember the first time Jack and Margot read this book, they noticed something. They said, oh, wait, Knuffle Bunny is still stuck in the laundromat. Now, how did they know that? The words didn't say it, but the pictures did, the illustrations. So we're going to work on that today as writers. What we're going to do is really looking at how we can add extra information into our writing. So writers include extra information in illustrations. You can study how authors use pictures to give their readers extra information. Then you can try to add details to your own illustrations to give your readers more information too. So this is really important, and today we'll be working on that. All right, so we're going to use our mentor text with Cynthia Rylant, and on the very first page of the story, we notice Henry, his father, and Mudge were watching TV on a big gray couch. But we also noticed the couch wasn't big enough for all of them, so Mudge ended up on their laps. We can also tell by looking at the picture, it looks warm and cozy. One, Henry's dad is barefoot, so his shoes are off, his socks are off. It tells us about the setting. It looks like it's warm, they're cozy. I can almost hear that television and feel cuddled up there on the couch. So here's our next page that we're going to look at. What we do as writers when we add our illustrations is we add realistic details that give more information. So take a look at this page. Mudge barked when he saw Shabby Cat, but his tail is still wagging. So that is like a clue for the reader that someone good is at the door, because we know that when a dog is wagging his or her tail, that's a sign that they're happy, they're in a happy mood. So we also can tell when we look at this picture, the words don't say much about the cat yet, but we can see Shabby Cat and we see that it has bent whiskers. We can tell that this cat really hasn't been kept up in a clean way. Maybe the cat's been lost. The cat's certainly been outside. So that's important for us to pay attention to. Another way that we really show our readers more information is by using thought bubbles. And those thought bubbles show what a character is feeling or what they are thinking about. So we're going to read a student's example from the story Max Goes to the Park. And this is by Miles, who is another first grader in a different class. He's actually not in first grade anymore, but we're still going to use a story. So he's really excited to go to the park, and we're going to pay attention to these thought bubbles. They look like clouds, and that tells us that the character's thinking something. So here's the first page. One day, Max woke up and ran down the stairs. He looked out the window and then told his mom, I want to go to the park. And you can see, if you pay attention really closely, there he is. He has a thought bubble, and he has an illustration of the park. And it looks like the dog is thinking about a bone, and then the cat is thinking about, looks like maybe a fish. We have another page. We can tell where they are. So again, it's really talking about the setting. How can we make it realistic? So it looks like we have mom is there. Yes, said Max's mom. We can go to the park. Looks like she's either in the living room or the kitchen. You can see the pictures on the wall. The animals are there. Speech bubbles show what character is saying. So, Joe, do you want to play? So he has the circle with that pointy triangle. No. So that's what we're going to go ahead and look at. And then we have two thought bubbles that I want you to use today. You're going to use two speech bubbles where a character is talking, and you're going to use realistic details.